Hello, everybody. I am Andra Annette, and welcome to Real Life of the Entrepreneurs with my co-host CJC Boyd. So, in my everyday life, I am a nurse, a holistic practitioner, a leaky gut, thyroid, and weight loss expert. I am an international best-selling author. One thing I love to do is write books. So, CJ is going to tell you a little bit about herself. And CJ, please.
All right, I'm CJC Boyd, and in my real life, I am an empty nester mama of seven, really just trying to make my way, shifting and shaping through the things and trying to help other empty nest moms try to navigate this area of life and just really get people to understand that we are more than just labels or roles or responsibilities that we grew up with, that we attach to ourselves, and we have so much more meaning and so many more things to do in our lives. And I've started a movement called Fuck Yes After 50 for women over 50 to just say yes to living audaciously instead of aging gracefully.
I love that. I love that. And I think the online place has become so much noise, so many people out there selling anything and just posting anything, who's walking around in their JJs. Some of the things that I see online are pretty scary, actually. I see a lot of people out there talking about health and stuff like that. And I've been in health a long time, so I know what's real and what's not. And I just stay in my own lane and do my thing. I'm out there. People are like, what's up with this girl? Because I'm writing, I'm publishing, I'm doing everything. And now I'm bringing all of those books to life, in video and comic books and just everything. I'm doing kids songs to give kids empowerment because I think that when we get to a certain age, and like you were just talking about those generational stories, that we already have that blueprint in our minds of what people have told us for so long. So I said, I've been healthy a really long time, and I know how important mindset is. So I'm starting them young with empowerment, and that's when I started doing the kids' books. I said, wow, I could teach them this so young, let me start doing that, and that's what I've been doing, and I see you empowering, so I do the older group with the health, the women after 52 in health, but I think I'm enjoying speaking to that younger audience. I think I like creating these things to give them the tools like breath work and stuff like that. I just published another book today, actually. The bear who forgot to breathe, right? The bear, I'm having a lot of fun. Um, I probably won't be a millionaire this year, but I have my eyes on billions, right? And it's not about the money, you really can't help people. Like people don't understand when we talk about money out here that you really can't help people and create the impact you want in the world without that money, right? So when I think about feeding the homeless, or creating non-for-profits for my business, you need that finance, you need that backing to do that, right? Because nobody's going to back you if you don't have that cold hard cash, right? So,
Absolutely.
and I see for you moving in that area too, in things that you're passionate about.
Yeah, I mean, my ultimate goal is to be able to, have enough women bind together that we are creating a movement that's going to sustain everybody's legacies for long after our children's children have children. And for me, it's like, being able to go down to the local food pantry in my town and cut them a check and go, okay, I want you to use this money and feed 374 families for the next year. No worries, no thing about it. We're a big military family, so one of my ultimate goals is to just really work with soldier suicide, and reintegrating vets when they come back. We're kind of, a lot of the vets are kind of just out there left to their own devices, and that's really something really emotional to my heart because my son is in the military, my husband's a Marine, and it's just one of those things where you see people slip through the cracks and you just know that there's something that you can do to help, and obviously need money to do that, to be able to like build homes and
Yeah,
be able to donate
yeah,
those homes to the veterans, that type of thing. So it's way bigger than the money just to line my pocketbooks. It's a the money to sustain these big huge missions that we have, that we want to help and impact the planet on such a level that we never thought possible.
yeah. And it's all possible today. You know,
Yeah,
the world we're living in now, it's so easy. So I created a clone of myself, right? So a lot of people are against AI. So you have to have the knowledge to really feed AI, because you have to know when AI is not telling you the truth, right? So if you're giving it health information and it's just, scanning Google and all these other sites, Google's wrong all the time. Google's just a regular person writing, right? Um, so you do have to have that information, and you do have to know the message that you want to get across, right? And you have to be able to say that where it's coming from your heart. So you do. AI is a very useful tool, and I see the world, everybody's shifting to that AI because people are getting done. You really get more done. So I created my face, so it was very simple to clone myself, which is pretty scary because people could use that
right.
in a bad way, right? But it's got my head bobbling and the voice and stuff. So I said, well, pretty soon I'll be able to be everywhere and be at home sipping tea, you know.
Yeah.
So um, let me see how that works. But I'm still getting my message, but like the words and everything, they're all mine, and I'm
I
having a
think
lot of
that's the
fun.
key. Think that's the key, though, is being intentional about how you're using that tool. Yes, AI is a great tool, but there are a lot of people out there just like, okay, write me a post, and you can tell when you read it that it's AI. There's no meaning behind it. There, you can tell it's not their tone of voice, and everything that you do, you're intentional because it is your words, your value, your lesson, your words, your wisdom. And I think that that's what sets you apart, is that you are using the tool in a way that's intentional to make sure that it has your voice and your tone.
Well, I posted my first video, and it was my body, um, younger face, of course, because why not take advantage of all
Right.
the tools, right? So, and I said, this is me, but certainly not my voice. And I think I did it in a man's voice to prove a point. I said, but the message is mine,
Right.
right? So, to prove a point that you really can, you could really do so much with AI. You could really automate a lot of your systems. You could, you know, really create things. So I created an agent a long time ago that teaches me tools that I was deficient in because I wanted to have that knowledge. I was tired of waiting for other people, right? So
Yeah.
I've created a lot of apps since then because why not have your own instead of paying someone else, right? So that's what I've been doing. I've been creating my own, and I'm kind of building my business out. What I want to do is going to take me a while, a couple of years, to really do what my vision says. But I'm doing it. It means I won't be available for a lot of things, but that you have to you have to be that committed to it, just like you are committed to everything else, like nursing all these years. I showed up every day. COVID came, I said I'm going in, right? So every you have to be very intentional about everything you do. And I think that some people separate that in business and life, but the same intention you have when you show up for your family or your profession or your friends has to be the same intention and commitment you put to your business. I had a friend call me the other day, and she asked me to help her with the website, right? So, um, she has no idea how to do this. I've been telling her that she should be doing this because she bought a facility. She bought an assisted living facility, so you need to have that website to. Um, so it's in another state, right? So, and I was telling her she needed to do it. So then she calls me very last minute. I said, "Well, okay, what are your plans?" So none of that thought process has transpired. I said, "Well, you got to get on Google. So start with the Google website, and then we'll talk about what you want." I said, you have to have a marketing rep at the company. So he should be taking pictures of the inside because you need those for Google. You can't just put up truck stop and call it whatever you want to, whatever you want to call it. So, but a lot of people don't take the time to map that out, and they just say, I'm in business, this is what I do. And you really need to have all those things in place. It's websites for a facility or something like that are necessary, maybe not so much for what we do. But I think it's helpful. Even for the songs I'm creating now, I'm going to have a separate site for the music. So all my music will be listed because I just, I have that addictive personality. CJ, I start doing something and I like it and I got to keep doing it. I need those endorphins. I need those endorphins, right? So when I'm doing them, I had, I I designed the cover and it's a very sexy woman and it's a kids nursery song. And I said, people can say, what is on this girl's mind? She's out of her mind. But there's another song on there that's for adults, right? Um, it's just the way I listed it. So but you do have, and I didn't think about that until after the fact. That's what I mean about intentional. I said, well, they're going to say, well, how does this go with kids? So I really should have labeled it for children, right? So, but it's a process of learning and doing it. But I'm putting that stuff out there, and I'm having so much fun doing it.
And I think that's the key, like just being able to watch you and the excitement and the joy. That's what it should be about, enjoying what you're doing and having fun, not just having the thing, okay, I want to do this and begrudgingly show up every single day and go, okay, oh my God, I got to do this, and this. But you're having fun every step of the way. And it's going to just make your vision that much brighter and beautiful and all the things because you're actually having fun doing it. And that's the thing that I want people to remember. You may be in business to make money and to have a mission and have impact and all the things, but you have to enjoy life along the way. You have to have fun while you're doing it, because otherwise it'll get to the point where you're just like anything else, where you're like, you don't want to get up to push that alarm to go to the 9 to 5 job. You're going to get that way about your business too if you don't take time to stop and smell the roses, as they say.
You really have to, and I totally fund my business. So there's a lot of times I have a couple of clients right now and I haven't taken on any new clients. I was thinking about doing my belly fat challenge just because there's so many people out there robbing people and I want to give people a quick win. Um but um
Yeah.
so yeah, but I step back when I need to because some of these things are very time consuming that I'm doing, like writing a book. It looks like I'm putting a lot of them out, but I'm actually working in like 5 books at once, right? So I get an idea and then I know where that idea is going. So when I say, oh, the friendly fox, stranger danger, and then we're talking about feelings, he doesn't know how to control his feelings, and then the mouse that held hers in, and all these different things. So I picture all the characters and where they're going to go in the Forest Feelings series, and then I start mapping out
Yeah.
the books, right? So I'll get an
Awesome.
idea from one book and I'll incorporate it into the other book. Oh wow, this works really well. Maybe I could do it with this. So I couldn't do all those things if I was always busy, always on a call, always because I'm doing the shows, I'm doing all that other stuff. So sometimes you have to step back and maybe not worry about the money at all for that long vision. And I've done that quite a few times. And that's okay because I get to step back and say, look what I've done. you
Exactly.
know, and I'm enjoying that aspect of who I am now. Things I'm doing now I never thought I could do. And
I'm sitting here and I'm looking at you and I'm thinking the very first time that I met you and how different we both were, how like we were both kind of like in our little shell. And now I just look at you and I see all the things that you're creating and all the excitement and all the joy and all the just, this is Andra. And to just watch you so lit up with the things that you're doing just makes my heart so happy.
and you too, I see the excitement, the energy that comes when you're sharing honestly from your heart. And that's what I love about the stuff that you're out there doing because it's all heart centered, it's all truth. There's no sugarcoating. You're telling people exactly what it is, maybe you're here, but this is where you need to be, but you got to take that action. And so many people put pause when it's for themselves. Like if one of our husbands said, I want to start a business. Okay, honey, how can I help you? How can I support you? Right. But we don't take that same time and initiatives for us. So my husband is retired now and he doesn't know what to do with himself. And I said, get a hobby, do something, go paint, go take up a guitar lesson, because he's having surgery actually very soon. On he needs straps in both of his elbows, right? Then he's gonna have something on his back. It's just so so yeah, so and he's going out of his mind with boredom. And I was like, I wish I knew what it was like to be bored. I don't know what it's like to be bored, you know? Um, because I just keep finding things. I would love to. My dream is to finish working on things that are pivotal for me. Like I have a map for like the next 2 years. I already have it all mapped out in my head because I created like this 5 year plan. So I'm 2 years out to complete that. And um, what I really want to be able to do is at the end of that 5 years say, okay, you've completed this and decide where I want to go from there. But to be able to just sit at the beach and write my books and listen to my own songs, you know what I mean? And just enjoy my life because life is really short. And I don't want to spend every waking moment creating, working on. And for the last 2 years, I've been on all the time, just working, just working. And it's time for me to slow down, back up, and say, okay, and reap the rewards of what I've been doing. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. So where do you want to be in 2 years? Where would you like to be in 2 years?
In 2 years, I really want to have the ability, and I know that I've said this before, but like to have a core team of women that have stepped into the leadership to build out that Queen by Design, where we're not all doing the same thing, but we're building out our own things. Hence, Queen by Design, we each get to choose our own thing. And I want my core number of people to be 147. I want to have impacted 147 women who have in turn impacted families. I want to be global. I want us to be able to change lives, not only financially, but how women view themselves, mindset, health, well-being, mental, emotional, all those things. I want us to be able to get to a space where we have all that money coming in so that we can go and do the things like you said. I would love to buy a beach house. That's my goal. 2 years from now, I want to be living in a beach house where I bring the women that have
Yeah,
joined me together and we have, meetings and we do all the things
an
and
event.
just really pick, one target a year to really put our minds and our money and our efforts towards to help up level somebody else's dream within that time frame. So that's where I see myself.
I try to do that. I do employ women from all over the world, so I feel good about that. Sometimes not so much when they're not doing their work, but I'm trying, and some of the tools I created, I could really replace a lot of them, but they're very instrumental in my team. We've become a family and we love and support. So now it's time to teach them everything that I've been doing and learning so that I could step back from that and give that to them. So that's my goal this year. It's just finding that time, you know. But it's a very simple process once you map it out. So guys, we're just sharing our goals and our dreams with you. If you guys have to see us online, we're pretty much everywhere. You got to see us pop up somewhere,
Right.
and we want to let you know that your dreams are this close to reality. The only thing it takes is that go, right? That start. Things that I'm doing, things that like CJ told you when we first started this, we were very hesitant. We maybe lacked the confidence that we really could achieve everything we wanted to believe because to do and be because we had big dreams and we were like, oh no, from here to there, I don't know. But
Right.
we've been out there doing it regularly, and we're getting closer every day. So if you have a dream, if you have a goal for yourself, if you want to start something new, you could reach out to me and CJ. We are very broad in what we teach and what we help with. So you could absolutely reach out with us. You know, CJ's an avid marketer and a good transformational coach, right? And I'm that health transformation and that creator. So we really can help you get started if that's something you're interested in. Please reach out to us. So we are going to close this. CJ, any last words?
I just want to say the only thing it takes to get you from where you are now to that big, hairy, audacious dream or goal that you have is just being intentional and giving yourself permission to say yes today to take just one tiny step. And that sparks that fire inside you. And it's just going to, burn into this big, bright flame. And you can accomplish absolutely anything you put your mind to. You just have to give yourself permission to.
Yes, that's what it's all about, that permission. So thanks for popping in to Real Life of the Entrepreneurs, and we hope you have a great night. See you soon.